Typhoon Meranti here on the 13th of September 2016 is a monster of a storm. Hi everyone, meteorologist Robert Spena. We're going to be breaking down the forecast of this heading into Wednesday and Thursday, and plus taking a look at Malakas, which also could be impacting the southern Japanese islands. But first, this storm system, how about that center of circulation right here at sunset? Really clear and defined eye and eye wall. You can see that banding around that center of circulation. Actually, we take a look at the 1 minute interval from the Himawari 8 satellite. This is some incredible images. To look up the bubbling up of the overshooting cumulonimbus cloud tops around that center of circulation, and you can just see that spiral formation, the vortices within the eye itself. This is just indicating to us a potent storm system. Definitely a super typhoon, and as beautiful as it does look here on satellite imagery, this is still a very dangerous storm system, with winds right now of 160 gusting to 195 knots, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. That is just absolutely Cat 4, Cat 5, easy type of storm out here. Moving off towards the northwest. The good news, it is traversing the Luzon Strait, so this is like those max winds should be missing the southern coast of Taiwan. You're still going to see typhoon strength conditions, but that doesn't mean that this isn't going to be impacting nobody, though, as far as that eye and the eye wall, because the Batanes Islands, see these dots on the imagery here? A lot of people tend to forget about these. About 17,000 people live out there. They're a part of the Philippines. This area is typhoon prone. They're used to it. Actually, a photo from Sabtang, Batanes, where you can just kind of get an idea of a lot of the buildings there. They are built with rocks and stone, really made for the coral out there. So they're built up over years for this, and the modern structure is definitely built a lot like buildings you would say along the east coast of Taiwan and Okinawa. So as long as people do heed these warnings, hunker down in designated areas, definitely it will result in the lack of casualties and hopefully damage as well. This has been issued force warning number 4 out there, 3 just towards the south, and if we're talking about northern Luzon, signal force 2 has been issued out here, but definitely those typhoon warnings are in place for these islands in the Luzon Strait. Areas in southeastern Taiwan, typhoon warnings have also been issued, and even if they do miss the center of the circulation here, there is still some other effects that we're going to be seeing. Of course, typhoon strength winds from Taitung down here towards the south and the southern tip of Taiwan still are very well possible, but the rainfall, the total accumulation of that precipitation slamming the mountains, as always, is a big concern for really the infrastructure and residents alike across this area. Look at the satellite imagery with the Google Earth overlay, and you can kind of get an idea what I'm talking about. You have all of this moisture wrapping around, and it slams into Taiwan. So even at the center of circulation, south of the island, these mountains out here, which peak at about 2,900 meters, the highest located rate in this area, generally they're about 2,000 to 3,000 meters, just stops all of that precipitation, and it just really builds it up right in this area. And we always see that on the total precipitation based on radar maps from CWB. You always get this big swath of rainfall on this part of Taiwan, but this side typically doesn't get all that much, and that's when we're talking about the threat of flooding in these low-lying areas along the coast, but also rock slides, which often damage coastal roadways, and that's just almost every typhoon type of story for this area. In any case, throughout Wednesday morning as our storm system tracks past Taiwan here, heading towards the west, really by the afternoon hours, conditions are going to start to improve slightly into the evening hours as it moves away. Still going to be seeing some scattered showers throughout the day, even into Thursday morning for Taiwan. Vastly improving here on Wednesday, though, down towards the Philippines, and then making landfall there around Chaozhou, there in Fujian province towards the east of Hong Kong. The good news is that we are looking at a lot of shear to kind of work its way into this storm, not just the interaction with the friction over Taiwan weakening it, but some dry air working in from the west. And if we get that, it does look like the storm could become a little bit lopsided. And even the warning from JTWC, it's that, and you can kind of see the half semicircle here on this warning. The western periphery is not being indicated. That's really JTWC showing that dry air intrusion and the shear kind of working its way through this storm. And it's going to be lopsided as it does pull there in the China. Still dangerous, though, big flood threat and coastal storm surge is going to be a big thing here in a lot of these coastal villages along this region, but then eventually moves towards north, bringing that scattered shower and flood threat, leaving off there towards the Yangtze River Basin. Definitely, hopefully everybody has paid attention to the storm system. It is one of the stronger ones of the year. JMA putting that pressure down 905 hectopascals, a monster of a storm, pulling off there towards the west. Of course, we still have Malaccas back towards the southeast. GFS not very super ecstatic about it. JDWC expects this to become a fairly strong storm system before pulling off towards the north and eventually rolling along the coastline of Japan towards the northeast by Sunday evening. I'm going to put out a separate update on this. This one's already over 5 minutes long, so check that out if you want to see more about Malaccas. All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, stay safe out there, and as always, thanks for watching.